Salute, Knicks Nation. The streets are buzzing tonight. At MSG, the New York Knicks handled their business and blew out the Houston Rockets late off a huge second half where the three ball was flowing, the assists were getting racked up, and a huge night from Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle. Brunson's return was everything we wanted to see. He is back, ladies and gentlemen, and the New York Knicks offensive firepower returned at the Mecca tonight. Salute chat, salute replay squad. Let's get ready to chop this thing up with the best chat in the biz. Salute Knicks Nation, CT here on the post-game live, and appreciate you for joining us. Hope you're doing well, as the New York Knicks now on 24-17 on the season and back to 7 games above 500. Everything we imagine with this new homestand, as the New York Knicks first of a back-to-back tonight, face Washington tomorrow, and then we'll face the Toronto Raptors and former Knicks coming back to the Mecca on Saturday night. But it was the Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle show. But excellent performances from OG Anunoby. Defensively, 4 steals, swishing the 3 ball in the corner, cutting, great on and off ball movement. Josh Hart, the Josh Hart of old, returned tonight as well with another huge performance. Good to see Josh bounce back. I thought DiVincenzo also gave us a great spark in the second quarter. We'll talk about that. But the third quarter is where the New York Knicks blew this one out. They were shooting, below 40% from the field at the half, below 30% from the field from 3 at the half. But the 3 ball came alive early in the third as the New York Knicks got into their groove. I thought the ball movement was so much better. They found OG early in the corners. He swished it as well. Jalen Brunson was going to work. We'll talk about the officials because they were poor tonight. What else is new? The Knicks were getting fouled. They were very physical, the Houston Rockets, but the New York Knicks out-hustled them. Once again, credit to Isaiah Hartenstein, the big trees. The Knicks rebounded and dominated on the glass tonight. That was a huge story. And given us the most second chance points, as the Knicks absolutely dominated in the second chance points. We'll talk about it. But salute to the chat. Coach, Daryl, Big Task, Vaughn, and buzzer beaters in the building. How we feeling, guys? Great to get back to winning ways. And a salute to the replay squad. It's going to be a fun night chopping this thing up. It was a tight first half, but it came alive late. And the New York Knicks look like a team on a mission to gather that 4th seed or higher, as the Knicks now rack up their 24th win on the season. And I know buzzer beater is going to tell me that means we're going to be on a 48 win pace on the season, as we're now officially at the halfway point, guys. It's really flown by, and the New York Knicks have had their ups and their downs, but we're flowing with OG Anunoby. Another performance, a reason why we did this trade. Without looking at the box score yet, I think he was the team high in the plus-minus. 4 steals, efficient from 3, perfect complementary piece for guys like Brunson and Randle when they're clicking, but then when they're also moving the ball, we're dangerous. And the Houston Rockets, I thought this was a tricky matchup. We were only up 48-46 at the half, and it looked like we were set for one of those grinded out games, just like Orlando. But the Knicks had other ideas, credit to them. In my opinion, probably the best or one of the best third quarters on the season, and that opened up a big lead. The Knicks went in to the third end of the third up 8 off the 3 balls, as I mentioned. Assists were getting up, and OG's defense really, the switchability. One particular play where he helped sort of stall Alfred Sengun in the post. Not only that, but he stripped him and got the steal, got the ball up the court. The crowd went crazy off that play. It was an amazing play, given up size, but it just goes to show, man, how strong OG Anunoby is, right? There's no no reason why he can't guard 1 through 5. Talk about Swiss Army knife, guys. Salute. What's good? Racking up the assists. Michael Drake's in the building. The Knicks got 24 assists tonight. 6 steals. Got 12 turnovers. A lot of them were in the first half, though. So we did take care of the ball late, which was excellent. As I said, the percentages got back up. 45% on the field. We ended up with 35% from 3 as well, which doesn't look good, but given the fact that we were below 30 in the first half, we did come alive late. And the 81% from the line, I love. The Knicks dominated second chance points, 11 to just 4. Josh Hart was a big reason. We're going to give him his flowers and some. The Rockets did get out on the break as well. But yeah, credit to the Knicks for running the half-court sets in the first half, in the second half, but staying in it and grinding it out in the first half as well. Randle and Brunson were clicking in the first quarter. Randle had 10 at the end of the first, but he was in foul trouble tonight. We'll talk about Juju's decision-making tonight. It was a little clunky, clumsy, and sloppy in the first half, but I love Julius Randle's second half. Played with foul trouble, and I finished it out strong. The crowd was in a boisterous mood tonight. We had OG chants. We heard MVP chants from the returning king, Jalen Brunson. He picked up 7 assists as well with a team high. Shout out Isaiah for 2 blocks once again. And we basically turned the water off for Jalen Green, Fred VanVleet, Dylan Brooks, and Sengun. So the New York Knicks did this defensively. Stout performance, 94 points for the Houston Rockets. We out-hustled them. We kept their three-point shooting down. Even though we did give up the fast break points, we did dominate the glass as well. Daryl, salute. OG was a great pickup for us. Yeah, we're seeing it every single game. Some nights, like we've seen recently, offensively, he might not have it. But tonight, the ball was finding him. He was hitting it. He was swishing. Buzzer beater, salute. First in the building tonight. Let's chop this thing up. We're back buzzing again. Big task. So, yeah, let's dive in. Give out the game balls because there's going to be multiple game balls tonight. I'm feeling in a great mood. I hope you are too. And we're going to look at the road ahead later. Chop up where the Knicks sit in the standings. But yeah, summarizing my, recapping my initial thoughts on the first half of the season. Here we sit 24-17. We made a huge trade, and I expect another trade to come. The New York Knicks, of course, do need more offense, more shot creation, more bucket getting coming off our bench. But tonight our guys did us proud in terms of giving us some punch. Grimes with 11 points, Hart with 10 off our bench as well. Deuce McBride had a letdown game, but everyone else picked him up. Also, we'll talk about Precious Achiuwa, his future, but the bench needs a spark. There's no doubt about it, guys. Another shot creator. Keep giving us names. We'll shout you out all night long. That's what we do. But remember, smash that like button because the streets are buzzing. And I appreciate you for coming through. Replay squad, you know the drill. And let us know in the comment section. We give out the grades. Let us know if you agree, disagree. And I want to hear your thoughts. And also the names of the pickups that you want the Knicks to trade for. We know Leon Rose is sitting there in his office right now. He's cooking. He's not finished yet after this OG trade. The New York Knicks are dangerous. But boy, the Indiana Pacers have now made their intentions clear. Picking up Pascal Siakam for 3 first-round picks, for Bruce Brown, Jordan Nwora. So they're going to compete, right? We'll talk about it later in the show. But without further ado, first guy up tonight, the return of the captain, Jalen Brunson. Seemed like he hasn't missed a beat, man. That lets me know that last game, and I felt this at the time, I felt Brunson could have gone against the Magic, but they were safe with it. They took precaution, and I like that. Brunson looked like he hadn't missed the game, to be honest. He was so effective with the three ball. Early 4 of 9, 44%. It's like he hasn't missed a game. 11 of 21, though 4 of 7 from the free throw line. So got to clean that up. But 7 assists, team high, 30 points on a plus 12. Welcome back, Jalen Brunson. Great game. I love the assist. That was my favorite part of tonight. You guys let me know what was your favorite part of the game. But with that said, let's give out firstly a gold star, because those that don't know, anyone joining in, welcome, appreciate you. Gold star is a signature type performance, all-star, all-NBA. This is Jalen Brunson's signature game tonight. Let's vote, and I'll get him in for his first time all-star berth. Now the next thing we're going to give is a game ball to Jalen Brunson. We sometimes give out one game ball. On good nights, we give out multiple game balls. But Jalen Brunson takes one of the game balls tonight for his return. We don't need to talk about it that much. We've seen how important, Brunson is, guys, to our offense. We missed him against the Magic. We need his execution, his ability to get a bucket, his ability to run the offense and draw a foul as well. So yeah, keep it buzzing, chat. I see you. Now the next thing that's coming is the grade. A+ performance on his return. JB, welcome to the show, fam. Step on up and take this A+. Just a guy we that's growing in stature and legacy with the team. Obviously the playoffs is gonna, and the future years ahead is gonna write the story for Brunson's career in New York. But talk about a guy who just embodies what we want as a player, as Knicks fans. We want a guy who just battles time and time again, plays physical, gets fouled, but continues to ball out. Efficient from deep, from the field. He's really getting those assists up this year. We saw a couple great swings that one found OG. And a couple were dropped and a couple were missed. So he could have had a double-digit assist night as well. But he takes the first game ball for his return. And I welcome. He outplayed everyone. Jalen Green, he outplayed Fred VanVleet, and he outplayed everybody on the Rockets tonight, despite getting hacked and whacked and mugged all night long. We're going to give out the grade for the officials tonight later in the show as well, once we go through the starters and the bench. But yeah, one of my favorite plays was with a big swing to OG, 4 of 9 from 3 as well on the pull-ups. So a guy who is basically a two guard in a point guard's body, but he's such a willing and capable facilitator as well. That's what I appreciate more recently. He's been getting the ball moving and getting those assists up. So shout out. Old head, what's good? Bounce back. Let's go. Yep. Look, guys, the three-point shot for Brunson on the year, as we continue to reflect on the first half of this season. To me, what's been the difference between Brunson last year and early in his career to this year? The three-point ball. I mean, guys, it's at a crazy number. And at 44% tonight, once again, really efficient on volume as well. So I love what he's given us. He's a threat, in terms to break down the defense, open it up. And we've seen what we look like without Brunson as well. I love his quick step. His first step is underrated. He does get penetration. He can get past Fred VanVleet quite simply tonight. He was, getting into the paint at will. You see the huge swing to OG there, fam. That was one of my favorite plays as well. With the left, wrapped it around. That's what I want to see more of, too, guys. So salute. Yeah, let's get it. Michael Drake, Brunson A+, first game ball. We'll continue to talk about JB's return. He's reflecting on the first part of the season, but great to have him back. Please don't ever miss any more games. That goes without saying, man. Now, next man up is Julius Randle. Now, as I said earlier, Julius Randle had a good first quarter, I'm going to say. Under the circumstances, it was a really tight affair, physical affair in the first quarter. Both teams were shooting poorly, but Randle was trying. He was trying to get into the paint. He was hitting some mid-range, and he was also, getting fouled and getting to the line. But I loved Randle's second part of the game. The second quarter, he picked up 3 offensive fouls. He was trying to be aggressive. He's got to be better at reading the play and get the ball swung out earlier. That's what I will say first and foremost. We know when Randle just has that rush of blood, that aggression, he wants to get back. He wants to get back at his man, and he wants to score. And he's so physically dominant. I get it. But yeah, that's the stuff that we're seeing in the playoffs, in terms of some of the failures. And I said that some nights Randle just has to be in control, needs to play in control more all the time. But on some nights he needs to be more of a decoy, where if they're guarding him really well, and I'm talking about guys like, Dylan Brooks, Fred VanVleet, they're heady defenders, Sengun, who's got the physical size. On nights like that, Randle just has to recognize, I'm not just going to be able to bully my way through these guys. I've got to be able to manipulate the defense better and get the ball swung out. Or, methodically try and back my man down, then rise up and get a shot up, get fouled, whatever happens. Just be under more control. The second quarter was a poor one from Randle, but he bounced back in the second half. The numbers say, outstanding night, 11 of 18, 61%, 4 of 8 from 3, which was a good sight given the numbers recently from 3 in the early start. 5 of 6 from the free throw line as well. So some redemption from the free throw line. So shout out. 8 boards, 2 of them offensive. Got 4 assists, which is excellent. Like I said, played with the fouls, but finished with a plus 15 and a 30-piece, 31 points from Juju Randle. So big-time bounce back, big-time performance. I liked his second half under more control. But yeah, like I said, when he's playing against smarter defenders, we've seen it coming a mile away on TV in the arenas. If you're there, fam, shout out. But yeah, Julius is a dangerous offensive player. The moment he, understands what the defense is doing, when to go bully in and when to kind of pull back a bit. And that's where he got unstuck, with the 3 offensive fouls, but it's quite obvious to see too. J-Dub's in the building to die for. Salute. Jonovan, streets are buzzing. Guys, we're popping tonight, fam. Salute to everyone. Hope you're well. And the second half of the season is underway tomorrow night. Back at the Mecca against the lowly Wiz as well. We'll be live post-game. If you're just joining, as I mentioned earlier, fam, we're on a 48-win pace on the season. And that's what I predicted. I got the receipts, but if we do finish 48 wins or above, I think that's going to be enough to get us at least the 5th seed, but highly likely a 4th seed. So let's keep it going. Let's pray for good health, and we make a move. We solidify, either a great starting piece or a bench piece. And let's go all in on this 4th seed, because the paces are coming, fam. So, yeah, excellent night for shooting, efficiency from Juju. I like the 4 assists, the rebounding. He was a plus 15, played with foul trouble as well. And they got some big bodies. So, Randle was banging. Shout out to Randle for, for staying with it. in the second half. I'm going to give Julius Randle an A. And I'm also going to give him a second game ball. Well, so salute Juju. And he gets his gold star as well, right? I criticize some areas that he's got to improve, but I also give him love where Randle needs some love. Offensively, Brunson can't do it all on every night. And most of the nights we play well, Randle plays well. Those two are going to start firing now with OG here, helping defensively. We're going to talk about OG, but yeah, man, these guys, love playing with him. Randle had a great feed to OG as well for the huge slam and foul and one, and the crowd was going crazy, right? And Julius was dapping up OG. He was pumped. Now, 34 minutes tonight. With or without foul trouble, that's what I like. That's what I like in terms of the sweet spot for Randle. Now, we did blow them out. A little bit of garbage time tonight, but not a lot. But 34 minutes is good. I think you want to keep Randle fresh for the second half. I like Randle playing more in the first quarter. He's kind of fast start Randle. He usually starts well when he's playing well. And then he can probably sit a lot of the second quarter, come back in the second half, hopefully more fresh as well. So yeah, Tibbs is still staggering these units before we get another bench piece to help us out with the scoring tonight. But yeah, man, 2 big 30 pieces from Juju, from Randle, 2 game balls, A++. Let's get them in, fam. Let's vote. Get these guys in. And we'll put the link in the chat. As I talked about at length, man, it means a lot for the organization to have 2 All-Stars at the same time. Talk about the next superstar, looking at a new direction, looking at the New York Knicks, right? If we're buzzing with 2 All-Stars, that's just a good thing. So run it up, fam. I don't know if today's 3-in-1 voting, but let's get it done, fam. Let's get these guys in. Salute. Next guy up. Let's talk about OG Anunoby, because, oh man, 4 steals defensively was amazing tonight. Another huge performance, playing under control. Didn't do anything crazy offensively outside of swish, which is fine by me. On a night where Randle and JB are operating and devastating, but another huge minutes night for OG. 43 tonight, 5 of 10, 2 of 5 from deep. All 3 of his free throws, salute. 5 boards, 4 steals, a block, just 1 turnover, 2 personal fouls, 15 points, and a team high plus 24 on the plus minus, fam. OG Anunoby's defensive impact was on steroids tonight, fam. That play had Kenny Albert Clyde on the call, giving him almighty love, man. So that was a play where, yeah, Sengun was had him sealed under the post, what looked like, but OG held his own, man. He battled and got the strip on Sengun, got the ball up the court for a fast break, giving up size, giving up height. OG battled, man. He showed his worth tonight. He could guard 1 through 5. When he's efficient again, 5 of 10 from the field, hitting 40% clip from the corner. And I'm going to bring up OG's chart right now, and I will get it popping. If you could take a look at where OG got his looks tonight, once again, we've been seeing this as a good trend. He's efficient from both sides of the corner 3, which is great for the floor spacing. You see it. Brunson and Randle could operate. But then you also see the efficiency, getting those buckets under the cup as well with the cutting, fast break transition. We're going to give Devo some love later, but yeah, shout out to DiVincenzo for a great outlet pass. Always got his head up. DiVincenzo was really heady tonight, got a steal on the fast break as well. Had some issues finishing in traffic. But yeah, Devo found OG leaking out on the fast break. Also, we saw Brunson's big swing to OG for the corner 3-ball, which continues to be money, fam. We had Stat and Carmelo Anthony in the building tonight. Shout out to former Knicks, the building. We'll talk about them later in the show. But yeah, Devo out on the break here and the huge layoff to Randle. The other charts I wanted to look at quickly before we hit on OG's grade is Brunson. This is Brunson's look. Man, a death by 1,000 cuts tonight. Look at the, spraying the ball all over the court with the 3-ball. And then the mid-range assassin, the floater, the little midi, hezzy step back from JB. So shout out for his return, game ball, A+. Dominating offensively. And look at that. You just can't, you can't stop Brunson offensively because he can get to any spot on the court. He can, he can hurt you from all over. So like the shot chart says, you've really got to be super physical with him. You got to trap him, and really just make him give the ball up. I think the Miami Heat learned a valuable lesson as well as he torched them too, fam. And then this is Randle's look as well. A lot of looks under the bucket. And then Randle's 4 threes, 4 of 7. I think Randle was 4 of 8. Yeah, 4 of 8, efficient. Randle was hitting the 3-ball from the right-hand side tonight, and then he was also getting to the cup. So absolute domination from our 3 leading offensive players tonight. Yeah, and shout out to the assists as once again, getting the ball moving for these guys, to get their shots. Now OG's grade, but before I do that, I'm going to also give OG for the first time ever a 3rd game ball, fam, because I just love those 3 guys' performances. They broke the game open. OG's defense in 43 minutes to be a plus 24. I think he just deserves a game ball. 4 steals, incredible defense. 40% from deep, 50% from the field. When have we seen a complete player like this on both sides of the floor? Right, we're going to have to go back a long, long way in terms of a guy leading the plus-minus, swishing and dishing, getting steals, and hitting every single free throw as well. So he loves the guard, and the guard loves him. Great night, like Prezi says, salute. And we're also looking good for the home cooking to continue with the Wiz, the Raps coming in on Saturday, and then next week we head to Brooklyn for another big game, which I think we'll win, right? But who knows what's going to happen with the trade situation. Toby says, I love how OG is playing, fits like a glove with this team. Yeah, once again, shout out. NYC Ball, great win. To Die For says, with this dub, we move to 5th. Let's keep the winning streak going. Yes, sir. Thanks for letting us know. We'll look at the standings after this. But with some action happening, the New York Knicks just need to keep racking up wins too, fam. With that said, I've got to give OG also an A as well. Racking up some A's. Had a down night against Orlando, but the ball movement, the stickiness was tricky that night. But great to see him really, open the game up in that third. That was a momentum-killing quarter for us, for getting separation on the Rockets, up 8 at the end of the third. OG, it started back-to-back threes in the corner. As we said, Randle and Brunson found him. It started with a Randle 3, a Brunson and 1, and then OG stop on Sengun as well. Great quarter, one of the best of the season for me. And then the second quarter, we'll talk about DiVincenzo later, the spark he gave us. But OG coming up against his former team on Saturday, it's going to be big. The crowd, the reaction, the emotion's going to be huge on that night. Can't wait. But we got Washington first to take care of. So, yeah, on a night where OG didn't really need to create anything, there was quite a bit of congestion, I felt, tonight with the defense for the Rockets. They really did try to clog the paint and seal off, any room to operate with Randle. But OG did find, some. He did swarm and did actually cut to the bucket with a Euro step, and did manage to finish once and then get fouled once as well. But yeah, he ran the floor really well tonight. OG getting out on the break once again. But yeah, the defense and the shooting just continues to be a huge feature for us. So keep it up. Now, next up is Dante, the big ragu, DiVincenzo. We'll call him twin number 1, as we now know the running joke between Devo and Malachi Flynn. We've got good Dante, evil Dante. This is good Dante tonight. What did you guys see? His numbers, 2 of 7, not great. 1 of 4 from deep. But continues to show multiple sides of his game. 5 assists, 2 rebounds, and 2 turnovers. 5 points and a +7. So 2 boards in 19 minutes, but 5 assists is excellent. One of them was a big outlet, finding OG Anunoby running down the floor. So continues to have good court vision. But what stands out to me with Devo is his ability to, to rack up steals as well. So Devo, it's kind of strange they didn't recognize him with a steal. So that seems incorrect for me, unless it was something in terms of a fumble from the defender. I don't know. That should be a steal. Devo did get into the passing lane. He stripped a guy, and then he did run out on the break as well. So I don't know why they didn't give him a steal here, but I think he did get a steal. So, but yeah, I love his defense. Tonight he didn't have it going offensively, but 5 assists is excellent, and was still a +7 as well. So solid night for Devo. I'm going to give him a B. Impacting the game, really gave us that spark in the second. Mind you, it was a quarter where we were down. Devo had the steal, got out in the fast break. Then he found OG on the outlet, and then he hit a 3 off a Julius Randle 2-man game. Remember that 2-man game we used to see more with Randle and Reggie Bullock? We saw that tonight with Dante DiVincenzo. So that was a great play. And those 3 were all back to back in the second quarter. So that helped us, get the scoreboard ticking up, and I thought had a huge impact on tonight's game. So what are you guys thinking for Devo? Nick Yak says 5 assists in 19 minutes when the 3 ball is not fallen. Yeah, that's the standout for me. Michael Drake's gone B for Dante. Yep, great minds think alike. And that's why it's important we got Devo. He's a two-way player. Yes, we rely on him a lot offensively. And yes, the offenses look better once he went into the starting lineup. The floor spacing is legit. He can shoot from a deeper range. But yeah, he's better. He's a better off-ball defender than Grimes. In terms of reading the play, getting into the passing lane, and giving us that spark we needed. So excellent work. Doesn't need any time to get the shot off as well. No hesitation. Like I said, I love that two-man game with Randle in that second quarter, which was excellent on the pull-up as well. But yeah, just a heady guy. Skies for the boards, can get the ball moving. And tonight he gets a B for his 5 assists, and it was a +7 tonight. Very impactful. And he's a player that doesn't normally impact the game for 4 quarters, but if it's 1 quarter, 2 quarters, it's usually very impactful. Now the final guy up in the starting lineup, last but not least, because we need to keep giving this guy flowers. 11 boards for Isaiah, 3 of 5 from the field. Excellent work against Sengun in 40 minutes. Once again, we'll talk about Precious Achiuwa coming up because we need to get Isaiah some help. But yeah, 2 offensive boards, 1 of 1 from the line, 5 assists from your big man, 2 blocks, tick, 2 steals, tick, 4 fouls, 7 points, and a +13 for our starting quality big man, the guy that's going to get paid, the guy who's stepping up in a major way. Another double-digit night, rebounding-wise. Could have had a double-double with 3 more points. But yeah, it's just another guy like Devo in the starting lineup that doesn't need the ball, but he's super impactful on both sides of the floor. He found some cutters tonight. One of many of his 5 assists were just great passes. 2 steals from your center. You love that. I think he's basically averaging 1 point something steals, 2 steals. He's getting those blocks up. And he's also rebounding like a demon. What do you guys think? What's your thoughts on Isaiah Hartenstein's play? Right, starting big man, producing in the big spot for us. Going up against a guy who has a lot of respect, a lot of accolades coming his way in Alfred Sengun. But yeah, Isaiah Hartenstein really helped us win this matchup and limited his impact on the offensive side as well. And yeah, helped us get the ball moving once again. So nothing but love for Isaiah Hartenstein. For me, I'm going to give Isaiah also an A because he deserves nothing less. 2 steals, 2 blocks, 5 assists, and 11 rebounds, 7 points in a +13. Fam, big time. Michael says, big man, iHeart, solid. A, great game for iHeart. Again. Yep, the key word is again. Continues to produce for us in a big spot. And I said it last show, I think he's the top 3 most important Knicks heading into the second half of the season, which is why it's so important we get help. If Isaiah was to go down, oh man, I don't even want to think about minutes for Precious Achiuwa or Jericho Sims starting at the 5. We've seen that story before, man. We've seen that movie. I don't want to see it again. So, yeah, everyone's talking about, okay, let's get DeJounte, let's get shot creation, let's get scoring. Some people are talking about getting a big man, but I don't think enough people are talking about getting a big man because we're hopeful Mitch returns and all signs look like it's a real possibility that money-making Mitch can get back maybe towards the end of the regular or early playoffs. But that's still a long ways away. That's still 40 games away, 40-something games away. So whether it's in a bigger trade as a throw-in or a free agent signing or another trade, Leon Rose has to get another big man. Ideally, a guy who can shoot. We know the talk about Kelly Olynyk is that a lot of teams, have him high on their list. The The Knicks have talked to the Wizards. That's been confirmed for Daniel Gafford. We're not sure how far discussions have gone with those two teams, but yeah, it's positive. It's showing us that Leon Rose is looking for major help for us. So, and yeah, we're so lucky to have him. Exactly like Michael said. Yep. Nick Yak says Hartenstein has been great, but he gets his stats because everyone's challenging him every game. They are. Yeah, he actually made a comment about that, man. And tonight, yeah, he got put on a poster twice, I think at least. But you love the fact that he's challenging, and he's not afraid to pick up those fouls because that's the instruction. That's what Tom Thibodeau wants us, to do from the big man. Protect your rim at all costs. Don't give up too easy 2 points. Let teams shoot contested shots, tough shots, or 3-pointers on a tough closeout, but don't give up shots at the rim, at the bucket. Mitch was, the best in the biz, in my opinion, at protecting the rim. Well, probably alongside Rudy Gobert. But Isaiah Hartenstein's really showing that he's just as good, holding us down as well. So that is the starting five as the Knicks come alive tonight and take it 109-94. Once again, post-game live with CT. Smash that like button. Welcome in. The streets are buzzing. Thanks for joining us, and I hope you're doing well. We're on the road to 4,000 subscribers. We've got some guests lined up as the season continues to roll. So appreciate you once again. The best fan base in the world, the best chat in the biz. And we hit the bench lineups now. So who do you guys want to hit on first? Joshua Hart, I'm looking at, because this was a bounce back performance from Josh tonight. He played 29 minutes. He got the ball in the cup tonight, 5 of 11. Missed 2 threes, but got us 13 rebounds. 4 of them offensive tonight and 9 defensive, 13 total. Shout out to Josh for his bounce back performance, 10 points and a +10. And he snuck in 1 assist there as well. But I didn't get us a steal, didn't get us a block. But Josh played his role. I thought he didn't force it, but he also wasn't too hesitant. He did pull the trigger on the 3 once when he was wide open, which is good. That, didn't hurt the offense. When he does hesitate, that's when it starts to hurt the offense as well. So, yeah, his typical dribble drive game, got to the cup, I think, tried to run the break, but the rebounding is basically Joshua Hart's, bread and butter on this team. He out-rebounds any and all of those guards, around his size, but he also competes against bigger guys as well. Look, on a night where he's 10 points efficient, grabbing those rebounds at 13 and a +10, that's what we're paying for. A lot of people think, Hart's been overpaid. Obviously, his production this year has taken a dip. I agree. I think his play last year, was better. I think a lot's happened with Josh. Obviously in his personal life, he has two new kids, 2 babies. Whether that's affecting his sleep or all those things, not making excuses, but I think I'm not worried about his play. I think it will come back to the average. He's been playing down recently, but coming into tonight, I felt confident Josh is going to bounce back, and he did. Big time role, 45% from the field, 13 boards as well on a +10. So what's key for Josh is, my opinion, is obviously his decision making. He does, for a guard, he does handle the ball quite a bit, whether it, when he grabs the board and he runs it up, or whether it gets swung to him in the corner or elbow. He is forced to make secondary, third action decisions. So the decision making for Josh is key. Nobody questions the hustle, the energy. Most of the time he's bringing it. Is the shot falling, and is he making good decisions? Is key as well. Don't force the layup into traffic. Don't barrel into the defender and force an offensive foul as well. I think when Josh is playing under control, he's swinging the ball and he's reading the play. That's when he's at his best as well. Of course, when he's rebounding as well. So good bounce back for Josh. I'm going to give Josh a B for tonight. Do you guys, what are your thoughts? NYC, yes sir. Josh Hart earned his money tonight. Yeah, I agree 100% with that. Yeah, and I do feel like his play is going to come back to the average. I think he's down. Players do have their ups, their downs as well. He's a guy I want in my foxhole coming into the playoffs as well. I never forget when a player produces in the playoffs as well. I have respect for RJ Barrett, his playoff performance last year. I thought Josh Hart's playoff performance was the best, his best play as a New York Knick. As good as he was when we first got him, the play in the Cleveland series, he had struggles in the Heat series at times because, Tibbs was, overplaying him and playing him out of position over Quentin Grimes. But yeah, I thought Hart's play in the playoffs against the Cavs helped win us that series as well. His hustle, his energy, rebounding is important to this team. And he's going to, continue to play a big role coming off our bench when we do get an upgrade. He's a secondary, third ball handler, can run some action, can dribble, drive still. But yeah, it's all up here. It's all decision making for Hart as well. Michael Drake, happy birthday to Coach Tibbs. Let the chat sing happy birthday. Yes, sir. We're going to hit on Tibbs tonight, his grade as well, but appreciate you for getting in early. To Die For says, a guard grabbing 14 boards is getting busy. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Michael's gone with a B+. Great game. Definitely an impact player. Yeah, and I think, don't forget we're giving Josh Hart, obviously a very, very, very handsome contract. I'm never doubting that. 4 years though. So what I think is, the salary cap's going up. A lot of people want to evaluate contracts like, in the current year. Whenever a GM or a Prez gives a multi-year contract to somebody, it's about projecting the future. It's not just about, is Josh Hart worth 18 million this season? It's for 4 years, right? So we could have this debate as the contract continues and his play might, ebb and flow. But especially in that third, fourth year, when the salary cap's gone up even more, 18 million is going to be the going rate. It just is, Some teams do got to overpay a little as well to retain the player as well. So, yeah, I'm not a man that usually counts another man's pockets. You are worth what somebody is willing to pay you. But I've never had an issue with Josh Hart's contract. I just don't, because I think in the future it's going to prove to be very valuable for us. I think Leon Rose knew that he plans to consolidate the roster. He needs a guy like a hustle guy. He needs experienced guy that can guard 1 through 4 as well. Those players earn their money in the playoffs as well. Yes, he has his weaknesses. Shooting is Josh's weakness, but all players have weaknesses as well. Now moving along, let's hit up on Quentin Grimes. Now Grimes tonight bounced back. I thought he had a better performance, getting to the line, 5 of 5. He was 2 of 6 from 3, 2 of 8 from the field. Got us 3 boards, an assist, 11 points, and a -1. So the second half was dominant by the Knicks, but we can't forget the first half was still a back and forth. It was a struggle. The Knicks only had a narrow lead at the half by two, and the Knicks had a 2 point deficit at the end of the first quarter as well. So Quentin Grimes -1. It wasn't really hurtful. 5 of 5 from the free throw line. 2 of 6 was decent. We needed those 2 threes. I thought, yeah, Grimes was okay tonight. He was looking for his shot. He didn't look too hesitant. I thought defensively he did solid on the one-on-one matchups. Just trying to see if there's any other notes I made about Grimes. Early in the fourth, he swished the three off the screen. So that was big off the curl. And that got us off to a great start in the fourth quarter to help us put the beat down on the Houston Rockets. So I'm going to adjust Grimes' grade. I'm going to feel like he's deserving of a B- for me tonight. Got the big win. He hit some critical shots. The 3 ball, 2 of 6 wasn't really efficient, but got to the line 5 times, hit all 5. Got us 3 rebounds as well in 16 minutes. Solid B, says Michael. Shout out. To die for, actually, with the stats. Appreciate you for this as well. It's important to note Josh Hart's extension hasn't kicked in yet. So, forgive me. Thanks for the reminder. I was already thinking ahead. But, you're absolutely right. Josh Hart's still on the final year of his previous contract, which was only 12 mil as well. So next year is when the contract kicks in, which further adds to my point that, the salary cap is going up, too, fam. Yep. And to be honest, if there's anyone's pockets we should be looking at is Money Tree Fournier. Is a free money Fournier. Yeah. As I said, you're worth what someone's willing to pay you. At the time Fournier got offered the contract and signed the contract, it was exactly what we needed. Now, it's always easy to go back in retrospect and say, it was, it has proven to be such a bad contract. I'm not disputing that right now. But when the contract was given to Fournier, he had a decent season with the Orlando Magic and then the second half with the Celtics. And we flamed out against Atlanta in the playoffs because we didn't have a bucket getter coming off the bench or the starting unit with floor spacing. We had Elfrid Payton and old man Derrick Rose. So whilst I could see Leon Rose's thinking, it's turned out to be too expensive. But I also feel like the first year of Evan Fournier's contract, I think he lived up to that. 17 milli. He broke the franchise shooting record. The defense was poor. Kemba Walker, it turned out to be a disaster later. Basically, like I said, I think you're worth what somebody is willing to pay you. But he did get away with that 4-year deal. Unfortunately, the 4th year was a team option. So, not too bad for Leon. It hasn't really hurt us so much because, now, of course, it's a valuable trade chip with that. But, back to the point about Josh, I think, you pay a player for playoffs too, in my opinion. You don't just pay a player for regular season. As I said earlier, Josh Hart's somebody I want in my foxhole. If I'm going to battle in a playoff game, I know he's going to be G'd up. He's going to be ready, to take a charge, to take those huge rebounds, offensive plays, get fouled, be aggressive as well. I think he earned his money, with a good playoff performance as well. But obviously, as the contract continues, we wait to see just how good Josh Hart can be still for us. B-, solid bounce back for Q Dot. And we have a super chat I'm about to hit on. But once again, appreciate everyone for rocking out tonight. Great that the New York Knicks took this first of a back-to-back, and we have the Wizards coming back, and we're finally taking care of these, or getting an easier schedule to take care of too, fam. Now we got a super chat from the Knicks realist. Appreciate you, fam. Welcome in. Would you trade for DeJounte Murray? Gotta add a bench piece. Love the channel, fam. Appreciate the Knicks realist as well. And thanks for joining us. Hope you're doing well, man. That's the question going around right now. DeJounte Murray. And I'll definitely give you my opinion, my answer right now. But I'll start by saying I wish I did watch more Atlanta, because I love to give a full educated guess whenever I can, and response. But from the DeJounte Murray I've seen, I think would be a great piece, a great fit. It's all about what we can get, what we can also get from the deal and what Atlanta want. We spoke to Bill Daughtry just a few days ago. He, spoke about some things he's heard through circles, and that Atlanta are looking for a Mitchell Robinson in a potential deal. That would make things a little more complicated. I'm not saying I wouldn't do the deal. If it's Grimes, a pick or two, I would definitely pull the trigger on that. And I think DeJounte Murray's that guy who's going to fit really well with Brunson and Randle. He can stagger the minutes so that, at least Brunson or DeJounte are on the floor at the same time. He's great defensively. Another good off-ball player defensively like Devo. I think it'd be a hot ball in terms of the passing lane with a lineup of Devo and DeJounte. But yeah, aside from getting Murray, after I've done the deal, I would still look for another bench piece. Absolutely. I think I'm really starting to think where we need. I'm starting to get greedy and starting to think like, can we get DeJounte Murray and can we get more help? Can we get a Sexton as well coming off the bench? Can we get a Alec Burks as well as DeJounte? Can we get a Terry Rozier? Or another good buyout candidate as well? Because I think this team realistically is one really good piece away, but I would also love us to add another complementary piece to my confidence in a Deuce McBride point guard running the offense in the playoffs is still yet to be determined. Precious Achiuwa, don't have any confidence in him. Malachi Flynn as well. And of course, Josh Hart's he's not a guy who's, a guy who we're going to rely upon for offense as well. And if Quentin Grimes is getting traded in a DeJounte Murray deal, then that opens up more space for another offensive-minded guy, I think, as well. But yeah, once again, appreciate it for the super chat. Great question. Absolutely, I would trade for DeJounte Murray. I think he's very gettable. There's a bidding war happening right now. I don't claim to be, to know as much as the beat writers and any other insider, but from talks that I've heard and, reporters, alluding to Brooklyn being a team to watch. Brooklyn have a lot of draft picks. They do have some young wings that they can give the Hawks, and also the draft picks that they seek. So I think the Brooklyn Nets can put together a real package, and I think they're really motivated to get DeJounte Murray alongside Mikal Bridges. We heard a report today that Scary Terry Rozier would prefer to go to the Heat. So I hope that the Heat overlook DeJounte Murray and maybe they go for a Terry Rozier. That would leave DeJounte Murray available for us as well. If the Heat can get DeJounte Murray, then I would be quite worried with a DeJounte Murray, Jimmy Butler backcourt. Yeah, that'd be tough as well. But yeah, I agree with you in terms of your thoughts on Mitch. Mitch is awesome, but his injury history is very concerning. Yeah, absolutely. I'm willing to take the risk to keep Mitch moving forward because I think the contract is really good. In 2 more years, Mitch is only earning 12 mil. It's a descending contract. It's an outstanding contract Leon Rose gave to Mitchell Robinson. It was a solid contract for Mitch. I'm not going to say it's a bad contract for him. He got 60 million 4 years, coming off, a decent year. But quite frankly, I think Mitch's first contract in the league was poor, giving 4 unguaranteed years or whatever it was. And then I think this second contract for Mitch could have been better, given the fact that he has proven to be a bit injury sort of prone to an injury, is, I guess, is reflective, I guess, of that. Maybe teams were scared off. But yeah, me personally, I still keep Mitch because I think he's worth keeping around next year on the contract he's on as well. But yeah, we're about to talk about Precious Achiuwa, but we've given Grimes and Josh Hart their grades. Yeah, they gave us decent minutes tonight. Before we hit on Precious, I want to hit on Deuce McBride, because there's a real argument to be had about why Deuce McBride is a great piece for the New York Knicks moving ahead. Great contract and a great guy to have as the 10th, the 9th, 10th, 11th man, but not someone who can really initiate the offense very well. His shooting's improved a lot, so it's further proof that Deuce McBride can play off ball some as well. There's a lot of good fits. I think, DeJounte Murray playing alongside Deuce McBride in the bench would be perfect. I think that would be ideal. Another defender, another guy who can initiate, another guy who can play off ball and on ball. But also, a guy like Alec Burks, if we're looking at a cheaper deal. If we're looking at a Terry Rozier, another guy who could play the 1 or the 2. Colin Sexton, another guy who could play 1 or the 2 as well. But basically, my thoughts are Deuce McBride can't be trusted in the playoffs. He can't be the lead initiator, running your offense if Brunson's out. Even worse, even the bench lineup in the playoffs, I'm worried still. He's still young. He's got a bright future, but he's got development still to have. Positive that the shooting has come along, which is still great. It shows that he can play off ball, but his defense is contagious. But just get more help, Leon. Malachi Flynn is not the answer. Deuce McBride is not the answer as well. We need another lead initiator and shot creator as well. And tonight, Tibbs we saw it in his minutes, right? 11 minutes tonight on a night where Brunson, is returning from injury. He didn't really trust Deuce to play anymore. He had a poor stretch there in the second quarter. I think it was the second or the third. Deuce's minutes got cut tonight. Deuce went 0 of 4. He went 0 of 3 from deep. He picked up a rebound. He picked up an assist and a donut, turnover, a foul, no points, and a +3. So I'll give it, Deuce McBride, kind of 11 minutes. I've got to give him a grade. So it was a poor night. He's been good recently, but Deuce McBride needs to get a D for tonight in his role as well. But he's been great recently. This is just tonight. He didn't have it going. But regardless of tonight, I still would have said the same thing. I don't trust Deuce McBride to be the lead guard off the bench. Let's see. On that note, to die for says CT, you could see it in Tibbs's eyes. That McBride makes him shiver. Yeah. Now, what happens with the bench, right? It's important to score. That's the number one thing. I love Deuce McBride's defense, but the role of the NBA benches these days is just either keep up the score and just get it ticking up, right? obviously defense is still appreciated. I'm not trying to say that it's not needed, but in my opinion, it's more important to score the ball coming off your bench, get the tempo up, change of speed, and simply put the ball in the bucket. So that's where I do question Deuce McBride's long-term or current fit as the lead backup coming off the bench. For a team that's trying to go deep. Now he could prove me wrong later in the year. He might still grow if he's trusted. He can get you assists. He can move the ball. He's unselfish, so he's definitely not tunnel vision, McBride. But what he does lack is a quick first step. It's hard for him to create separation, to break down the defense. That's important. And of course, his floor vision, reading the play, making the right reads as well, under pressure as well. They always say that the point guard spot is the most difficult to perform, whether it's starting, off the bench, all of that really. It's your job to literally set the table and make sure everyone's eaten and make sure the offense is flowing. So yeah, like the Knicks realist said, and the chat, and Knicks Nation's been thinking. Yeah, I'm all for throw these names out there. I think DeJounte, Malcolm Brogdon, Colin Sexton, Clarkson, Alec Burks to a lesser extent would still help this team. I think as an off-ball, two guard even. If Grimes is or isn't here, we'll talk about that later. I think Grimes is definitely on the block, as reported by Fred Katz. And I want to get your thoughts on that. A future where, Quentin Grimes might get moved in a deal. Scary Terry, Brogdon, these guys, I think, are the names to look out for as well. Players with experience. I saw this tweeted out today, actually, and I thought about it. I hadn't thought about it when I saw it, until I saw it. But with the Raptors, why didn't we try to force getting Dennis Schroeder back? Who knows? Maybe Leon Rose did. It would have been interesting to see. I think that would have been a perfect fit for us. An experienced point guard internationally with the championship teams, a guy who can fill it up, a guy who can shoot, he can organize. Giving the Raptors quickly RJ and that pick as well. I would have said, let's give Precious Achiuwa and Malachi Flynn to another team. Let's try to reroute them in a 3-team deal, or waive them, or tell the Raptors we don't want them. We want Dennis Schroeder. I think the Knicks would have been, wise to try to get that done. But who knows? We might have bigger plans in that. On that note, To Die For says, thank you for your services, Grimes. The captain speaking. You're out of here. Look, yeah, if we're leaning one way or the other, man, I think Grimes is going to be in a trade. Which is tough because, as we're seeing, I like Grimes. I think he would have a great future with the Knicks as a guard off our bench. Coming into the year, I thought he could have been the starting 2, but I think what became quite clear is that he's not ready. Could he be ready in the future? That's something that's undetermined, and we're trying to win right now. So I understand the logic. Whilst you hate trading young players that you think can develop, you got to continue to go back to where we are right now. We have our pieces in place. We have a Brunson, we have a Randle. We traded for OG. We're trying to win right now. And I think Quentin Grimes showed us early in the year that he still needs to be more consistent, and he's not there yet as a 2-guard shot creator. He's good off ball, catch and shoot, pull up. That's about it right now. The defense is still very solid, and he has a lot of value around the league, which is another reason why he's in trade discussions. If a player is no good, they're not going to be in in trade discussions. They're not going to have any value. So, yeah, we continue to move, but we'll give a few thoughts on Precious Achiuwa. Malachi Flynn was basically a DNP, 54 seconds. But yeah, Precious tonight, 0 of 2. Got 4 rebounds, 3 fouls, a block, and 2 points. So what Precious, where we're at right now with Precious for me is he's basically a player that, we took a flyer on, we needed a body. I get it. He was basically a throw-in in the deal. A player who we still needed another live body, a big, so that we could waive Taj. But Precious ain't it. I think we all know that by now. Could he be the 13th, the 12th guy on the roster? Yeah, I said it. I don't have anything against Precious, right? If our second string big man were to go down, sure. I think he'd be a player you could throw out there as the third stringer. Situational. The problem is Mitch is down and we need a clear-cut backup. We need a clear-cut backup center with size, a player who can rebound better, a player who's more heady, a player who's more consistent as well. Look, defensively, he's got talent. He can switch. He's mobile. He has his strengths. But I don't think he's a true 5. Against, bigger size guys, we're going to struggle as well. But also, I don't trust Precious. I don't trust his decision making. His ball handling. He's got stone hands as well, which we saw last game when he dropped the dime right under the bucket, courtesy of Julius. But yeah, he's quite young still. And yeah, he's worth keeping around. He's a free agent this year. As I said, I would bring him back on a veteran minimum contract for next year as the third string guy. But the problem is we've also got Jericho Sims, and next year we've got to make a decision on them. So yeah, back to the acquisition topic. Let's go for a backup big. Let's look at Kelly Olynyk, Daniel Gafford, Jonas Valanciunas, if he could be had. I think he's more expensive, though. I know the Knicks had huge interest in Naz Reid. He would have been a dream. Talk about dream of a dream, backup big man, Naz Reid. But, yeah, he got paid handsomely. He deserved that. The Timberwolves weren't letting Naz Reid go. But, yeah, the Knicks did have interest in Naz Reid. So I get it. But yeah, Precious, I don't know if he's going to get bought out. Maybe he'll get included in a trade. Something like if we do end up doing that deal with the Hawks for DeJounte Murray and Clint Capella, then I'm sure the Hawks would do with another cheap big body like Precious, going back in a deal for the Hawks as well. So yeah, I think it's 50-50. Precious either sticks for the rest of the year as a situational big and we do make an upgrade, or we send him back out in another deal. But I don't trust him long term. I think he's fine right now playing 7 minutes. I mean, Nick Yak to die for, Michael Drake in the chat. I don't know how tall you guys, but if you guys are 6'4" and above, I think you guys could give us 7 minutes tonight instead of Precious Achiuwa, and it wouldn't have any real impact on the game, right? Unless you really got game, and I'm not familiar with your game, and you can have a huge impact. But I don't think you're going to have any less impact than a Precious Achiuwa, man. And I kind of feel for Hartenstein now too, because like I said, man, I need Tibbs to be smart. I don't need Hart playing 40 minutes. He's our top 3 most important players, so you got to think of him like a Brunson and a Randle, and in terms of we don't want him to go down. So yeah, I think moves are coming, helps on its way, and Leon Rose get busy, basically. Same as Malachi. Now, before we wrap things up with the grades, Tom Thibodeau's up next. And I know the chat's going to sing happy birthday, because I'm sure as hell not. So, but happy birthday, Tibbs. Salute. Um, Hit 500 wins as well. So I'll give you your flowers for your, your standing in the game, your longevity. Tom Thibodeau has brought stability to the New York Knicks. He's brought a level of play, a level of consistency that we didn't have earlier. Obviously, we did upgrade the roster with Brunson, with an all-star Randle, and some good role players as well. But Tibbs has been a consistent basis throughout his tenure, from making the playoffs, fourth seed, facing Atlanta. Made some poor decisions though with Elfrid Payton, Alec Burks, at another point. But yeah, did make the fifth seed as well. Got us to the second round. 2 playoff appearances in 4 years as well. We look like we're headed for our third playoff visit in 5 years as well. It's his birthday as well. Got us the win. I thought he got the ball club coming out strong in the third quarter. Got us moving the ball. So, Tom Thibodeau, for your birthday, I'll give you a B. And once again, happy birthday, shout out. Marty Salute says, what about Precious plus a second for Jalen Duren with Detroit? I would do that in a heartbeat, fam. I don't know if the Detroit Pistons would look at something like that. But yeah, I would sign up for that. No doubt about it. Jalen Duren is a future superstar, in my opinion. And the Knicks had a chance to get him. But of course, we did, need to clear the decks and get Kemba Walker's contract off the books so that we could give Jalen Brunson a contract. But the rest is history with that. Look, there's other guys. If we could get an Andre Drummond, I know he was talked about, before we did the deal with the Raptors. When Mitch went down, Andre Drummond, he's from Mount Vernon. A local product. I think he's a high chance to make it to this club if he gets bought out or if he's available for a trade. I think Tom Thibodeau likes Andre Drummond, an old school big, crash the glass, tip outs. He'd give us a bit of like Tyson Chandler light version of just no offense but putbacks, alley oops, gobble up rebounds, tip backs, etc., and block shots as well. I think he'd be a cheaper option. But yeah, I'm kind of getting a little bit frustrated with just one-dimensional centers, man. I want to get me a center that can actually score some. It can't hurt to have a little midi, a big man that can shoot. We talked about Portland's two-way player on a two-way deal, Duop Reith. Would be a great move, but I don't think he's going to be on the block. Kelly Olynyk, absolutely, definitely would be interested in him. We'll see what Leon Rose can do, fam. But yeah, I thought Tibbs did enough to help us get up in the second half. A salute to him tonight, and also the officials coming up now. Right, another poorly officiated game. What did you guys see from the officials tonight? Man, it was frustrating. On a night where guys were getting hacked, I thought this thing could have got nasty. If guys were getting a bit agitated, this thing could have turned into something more. They're just letting a whole lot of fouls go. We saw a couple of challenges get overturned. Tony Brothers, he had me irate tonight that I tweeted it out. One of the most obvious fouls tonight was Brunson getting hit on the arm on the 3-point shot. You almost saw Brunson at the point where he was ready to get a technical, but he held it together and he said, okay, I'll just, I'll keep my cool. We're winning. But yeah, the officials had everyone frustrated tonight, man. They let the play get way too physical. So a D tonight for the officials. I thought about an F, Michael. Yep, you're right. I could give an F as well for the officials tonight. The microphone wasn't working as well. Tony Brothers couldn't get those announcements out to the crowd. Once again, salute everyone. Chat, what's good? We're buzzing. As the Knicks now on a one-game winning streak of the first of a back-to-back. Now we have Washington coming up, ladies and gentlemen. But just before we look at the road ahead, once again, we'll look at three of the key shot charts from the 3 game balls that we gave out tonight. The first one is OG Anunoby coming into his own as a New York Knick. Huge impact tonight defensively. 4 steals, 5 of 10 from the field, and efficient from 3. Great floor spacing right there, either both in the corner or getting at the bucket for a jam or a putback. So shout out to OG Anunoby for his game ball tonight. And his A as well. So shout out. What I liked about OG as well is he's unselfish. He plays within the flow of the offense, but he also, keeps it moving. Now he knows his limitations. That some people say, "Oh, look, why does he? He's too unselfish. He's too passive." I'll tell you where it's still good to be willing to, make a move and then give the ball up, because if there's nothing there, you don't want to force it. If you run into the traffic, what's worse? Kicking it back out and giving your teammate a better look and let the ball continue to flow, or force it into the traffic and force a silly, ridiculous contested shot or a heave, right? It's about knowing your limitations, right? It's not OG's fault. He's not Kyrie Irving. He doesn't have superstar dribble handles yet. He doesn't have, elite step back pull up shot like Kevin Durant. Right? He knows his limitations. That's why he's so valuable. Yes, sometimes, if he does pass up an open look, absolutely get on him for being too unselfish. But tonight, I didn't see that. I thought he made the right moves. He tried to get dribble penetration. He got fouled on one occasion. The other one, he did a nice Euro step, got to the cup and laid it up. Cutting off balls, excellent. He ran the floor, swished it, and got the dime from Devo as well. So well done once again, OG Anunoby. Huge impact tonight as we keep it buzzing. Next man up is Jalen Brunson. Right, this is his chart tonight. As we said earlier, a death by 1,000 cuts. A player who you just can't speed up, and you can't really try to force him in any particular area, because he's a guy who, as this chart says, as we've seen, he's a guy who can get his basically anywhere. He's a dynamite offensive player. Offensively, can pull up from 3 now at an elite level. We saw the defense collapse, which we badly missed last game against Orlando. He's got a very underrated first step as well, because he's stocky, he's strong. When JB puts his head down, you ain't stopping him, right? He's getting by you. He's getting by you as well. So there you see, he's living in the paint there with all those greens, and he's also swishing from deep. So that's what I love about Brunson's game. He's an old school throwback, tough point guard. He reminds me of and I'm not trying to make full comparisons here, but I want you guys to tell me who does Jalen Brunson remind you of in terms of any current old school point guards, any comparisons, any similarities? For me, I think he reminds me a little bit of those old school tough point guards, Chauncey Billups. Chauncey was pretty solid from 3. later in his career. He was a floor general, but Brunson's obviously more offensive minded. Brunson's better off the dribble. Brunson's better, getting downhill. And obviously he's a better three-point shooter right now. But in terms of mindset, experience, supreme mindset, competitor, I think Chauncey Billups is a good comparison. He's a guy that didn't get love much. He didn't get a lot of shine. Yeah, he wasn't on, highlight plays back when, Allen Iverson, those dudes was Baron Davis, those dudes was making highlight reels. But yeah, he just gets the job done, fam. Michael Drake's on point with this one too. CP3 as well, a little, yeah. Now, CP3's offense grew as his career grew as well, yeah. He developed a great mid-range pull-up as well. I think Jalen Brunson's floater game is even better than CP3's. Obviously, CP3's distributing is on another level. I think, prime CP3 was able to also process the game, I think, better than Brunson. But in terms of getting a bucket, a guy who's also capable of assisting well as well, but getting a bucket, I think Jalen Brunson takes the cake with that from his mid-range too, yeah. So yeah, mad love for Brunson. He was the reigning Eastern Conference Player of the Week. Obviously the new announcements have been made, but he's got more in store this season. And last but not least, right, with his bounce back in the second half after a poor second quarter, Julius Randle came alive in the second half, was very efficient, made better reads as well, gave better defensive effort tonight as well. He also took an A and a game ball. Important performance from Julius in that second half, because we needed a guy to help run the offense, get the offense ticking up in that third, to create that separation. So I gave Julius Randle an A. And here we look at his shots. He was efficient from three. He was 4 of 8 from deep, and also a lot of buckets in the paint, restricted area as well. So yeah, we were really establishing our physical dominance tonight in the rebounds. Well, Julius picked up 8 boards tonight, and he also got some assists as well. Julius finished with 4 assists tonight, 8 rebounds, 2 of them offensive, 4 assists, salute, and was a plus 15. Well, so yeah, mad love, shout out to Juju once again. As we move ahead now, we look ahead to what's coming up. We got the Washington Wiz, the Washington Generals, fam. Then we got the Toronto Knicks coming up, and then we have the New Jersey Nets as well. So I'm not, if that's any indication, that lets you know I'm not sweating any of these teams. Obviously, a back-to-back tomorrow. My ideal scenario would be get out early, get up by 25 by the third quarter, get JB out of there, right? Rest that calf, fam, right? If Julius is still okay, he's good to go, but we're up 25, get him out there, sit him down, get him out of the game. But yeah, obviously Washington, they lost to Detroit the other night. So, man, you know, there's some stuff going on down there in Washington, and we should absolutely blow them out, right? No excuses. Let's get this streak buzzing. And I think, yeah, the New York Knicks finally going to start to make a run up the standings, right? Toronto is the big one. Obviously, RJ Barrett, Emmanuel quickly return, OG against their former teams. Thankfully, it's at MSG. I'm glad. The first game against the Raptors is at MSG after the new trade. We got to get this dub. Then we have 2 days off, and then we have Brooklyn, the New Jersey Nets, and then Denver, Miami. 2 key games at MSG as well as we continue this home cooking. The New York Knicks looked great tonight. The ball was moving. Shout out to the assists. Unselfish play. DiVincenzo stood out to me as well. Randle and Brunson. But yeah, a team 24 assists was solid tonight. Now I want to bring up the standings in the league, and we'll see where the New York Knicks sit. But before we do that, I'm going to put the link in the chat once again, and we can vote if you haven't already. Replay squad, you can still access the link in the live chat replay for later. But yeah, I'm going to get the standings popping, and we can see where the Knicks sit after this big win, 24-17 on the season. And now we are at the halfway point on the road to 48 wins, which is what I predicted early in the season. So without further ado, here we are, fam. We have the New York Knicks now in 5th spot. Like to die for, said earlier, at 24-17. We are just half a game back of the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are in 4th. But the Cavs have 2 games to play. So they have played a light schedule. They flew to Paris. And as a consequence, the NBA has given, the Cavaliers a couple of days rest, which is fair enough, I think. But yeah, the Cavs have 2 games in hand to play. If they lose both of them, the Knicks will be will have played a game already. But in my opinion, we're basically right there in the 4th spot. We're right amongst it. Obviously, we have the Heat coming up next week. That's going to be huge. What do the Heat do? The Indiana Pacers have made a big splash. In my opinion, right now, it's the Celtics and the Bucks. Not saying it's not possible, but catching that 2 seed is going to be borderline, untouchable. So the 3rd seed it is, the 4th seed are real possibilities. So after the Celtics and the Bucks, to me, it's the Sixers, the Knicks, and the Pacers right now. If the Heat don't make another move, obviously they'll be jockeying for that area, but I still feel like the Knicks, the Pacers right now with Pascal, and the Sixers, I think, are more likely to face off for that 3rd, 4th spot. And then the Heat, the Magic, and the Cavs are going to be jockeying as well. We wait to see what happens with the Cavs, when they do get Mobley, they do get Garland back. I think that's going to be, that's going to improve them. But I think they need to make a move. I think they're not in position to contend with these 2 teams, with these 3 teams, right? To die for, it says CT, if you had to choose one to go to the All-Star game in Indy, who are you picking? Jalen Brunson or Julius Randle? Great question, man. It's an easy one for me. I think Jalen Brunson has had a better year. No discounting Julius Randle. I still think Julius Randle deserves to be an All-Star as well. But if I could only choose one, Julius Randle's been a 2-time All-Star, and I think Jalen Brunson was robbed last year. He absolutely has to get in, fam. Has to get in, and I think he will. I think the point guard pecking order in the East has really, kind of become more clearer. I think, Jalen Brunson's had a better year than Trae Young, in my opinion. I think it's basically, I think he's had a better year than Damian Lillard as well. I think it's either Maxey and Damian Lillard as your starter, Halliburton and Maxey as your likely starters, and I think Jalen Brunson gets the reserve spot easily. I think outside of those 3, I wouldn't put anyone else in. Damian Lillard's been up and down this year. I honestly think Halliburton, Maxey, and Jalen Brunson are the clear top 3, even ahead of Drew Holiday. think as well. But yeah, what's your thoughts on that? I'd love to hear what you think as well. Nick Yak says we know Kuz will play well against us tomorrow, hanging around and late until the third. Yeah, yeah. Let's hope it doesn't get too physical. Hartenstein coming off 40 minutes tonight. I'm going to expect we're probably going to see maybe a little bit of more Precious tomorrow, maybe a little bit more or more Sims. I think Washington do go small ball quite a bit, fam. But yeah, to recap, guys, my thoughts on the big swing Indiana made, getting Pascal Siakam. I honestly think that's going to put them as a tough team to beat. That are going to vie for the third and the fourth, fifth spots. I think it's going to be out of Philly, the Knicks, and the Pacers. I think the Heat and the Magic will be right behind. Obviously, it's dependent on what moves are made. But yeah, right now, Philly, Indy made their move, so a salute to them. They're trying to go places. Now it's over to the Sixers and the Heat and the Knicks, Magic. The Knicks already made their move, but we know we're ready to make another move. We need to make another move, man. We need help, and I think it's coming. I'm not sweating it. But whoever it's going to be, I know it's going to be someone who's been talked about, whether it's Brogdon, Mitchell, Murray. Mitchell's probably going to be more of a summer thing. I think the Cavs are going to try to give this year one last run. So I don't think the Cavs are ready to break things up. I mean, they're in fourth seed. I think they're gonna go for it. If they do want to trade Donovan Mitchell in the summer, they're still going to get a great package. I don't think they're worried about, losing any value on Spider Mitchell. I do think the writing is on the wall. I think he's told them, I'm not signing an extension. The rest of the league knows Spider Mitchell isn't signing an extension. So all that's left to play out is that the Cavs try all they can this year to make it as far as they can, get to the summer, and then see what you can get on draft night, or create a bidding war. Think about it. There's going to be all these teams that don't win the Larry O'Brien, whether it's the Heat, the Magic, the Brooklyn Nets, the Lakers, a lot of teams in the West. They might think they're a Donovan Mitchell away. So I think I can't disagree with the Cavs thinking. Try to convince Donovan Mitchell this last year, try to make the third round, see how far they can go. And if it fails, then you can at least trade Donovan by the summer. But as of in season, absolutely DeJounte Murray will be on a new team. The Atlanta Hawks are stumbling at 17-23. They'll be lucky to make the play-in. They're jockeying with the Nets. I do think the Raptors, after trading Pascal Siakam, will try to rebuild on the fly. But they might just miss out on the play-in. It depends on Barnes and obviously Quickly and RJ. They're going to have to carry more of a load for them. The Bulls will trade Zach LaVine as well. I think the value has really dropped for Zach LaVine, but I think they're gonna, for tax purposes, they're gonna try to get off of his contract. Maybe he lands with the Orlando Magic. I could see that happening. The Magic need more shooting. They have good defense on the perimeter with Black, with Suggs, with Cole Anthony. And some trees. I think the Magic need more shooting. I don't think they're going to go for DeJounte. Maybe Brogdon. And also, like I said, maybe they go for a Zach LaVine. The Pacers, they've made their move, traded Bruce Brown. They could definitely do without him now that they got Pascal. And I think they're good. I think the Pacers will really fight for that fifth spot. The Heat, we wait to see. Pat Riley, Spoelstra, they don't like to sit on their hands. Terry Rozier has come out, or reports come out that Terry Rozier would like to be on the Heat. So they're probably going to try to do something. We wait to see. the New York Knicks, we have all the assets, we have all intentions to make that big upgrade to the bench, or pushing DiVincenzo back to the bench and getting a starting shooting guard, another starting shooting guard. So I think that's going to happen. I would like it to happen sooner than later because, yeah, we need depth off our bench. But at least the schedule has started to kind of lighten up. You know, with Washington, the Raptors, Brooklyn, a couple of tough ones against Denver and Miami, and then Charlotte, Utah. So maybe we do try to, you know, continue to negotiate and get the right deal, because that is important as well, fam. Making sure the deal is right. We're not ready to outbid anyone. We don't want to give up 3 first-round picks for DeJounte Murray. Reports latest are that the Hawks want 2 first-round picks at least, and a good young player like maybe a Quentin Grimes. Now, if the Knicks want to expand the deal, they want to get a guy like Clint Capella back, then I think Mitchell Robinson would have to be discussed in that trade. Yeah, it's tricky. I would prefer to keep Mitch and just sign a cheaper backup center, keep Hart at the starting spot. But look, man, DeJounte Murray, Clint Capella, that would be a real upgrade for this year. You know, that would be real strong in terms of our chances now getting to the Eastern Conference Finals. So right now, we've got 2 guys in All-Star consideration. We're waiting, Leon, for that third piece. Let it be a big one, fam, hopefully. A guy who can complement these two guys defensively. DeJounte Murray would be a good fit. Can handle, can score, can defend on the perimeter. Would give us stuff that we hoped Quentin Grimes would really give us. I do think Quentin Grimes would be gone. I don't see a world where it's just Evan Fournier and draft picks. I think what might help us beat out other teams. You see, it's not just the trade that Atlanta need to agree to. You have to beat out other teams, right? If Brooklyn's offering, you know, Royce O'Neal, Dorian Finney-Smith, and picks, you need to come to the table, right? You need to come to the table with a Quentin Grimes, right? Or you're not beating out that other package. If the Miami Heat want to put, you know, a good piece on the table, Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero, or something, you need to beat their package. So yeah, it's going to be tough. But yeah, I don't see a world where we get Murray without giving up Quentin Grimes. And quite frankly, you want to do the right thing by Quentin Grimes anyway, because if there's DeJounte Murray, DiVincenzo, Hart, OG, and Quentin Grimes is in a contract year, like where is he getting his minutes? You know, where is he getting his money? So it's kind of an Obi situation all over again. You know, you trade him, you do the right thing by him, you get him to a spot where he can get his money. You get him to a spot where he can, you know, get play. You know, he can help a young team. You know, I think he would fit with Trae Young as well. You know, obviously, you need a defender playing alongside Trae as well. You lose DeJounte Murray. You know, they could sell the fan base by giving, you know, Grimes a second contract. I think at bare minimum, the deal would be, you know, Evan Fournier, Quentin Grimes. If you want to throw in Precious Achiuwa, maybe some other pieces if you want to get Clint Capella back, but at least that for DeJounte. But yeah, we wait to see, fam. It's been a great show chopping this thing up. Before we wrap up, any final thoughts you guys have? Nick Yak says Obi is being replaced again. You have to play D at least a little to get big minutes in it. Yeah, I think Obi might still get some backup minutes there, but yeah, it's going to be nothing more than that, unfortunately. Which is, you know, it's not the worst thing in the world. Obviously, Obi's looking for a good contract. I don't know what kind of contract he's going to get next. We're seeing guys blossom in the league later in their age, you know. there will be value along the way, but maybe Obi is just that one of those guys that does, move around the league. He ain't even 26 yet. I think he's 25 coming into, to the middle of his 20s. If it doesn't work out for him in Indiana, I think you can give good teams good backup minutes. Is he a starter? Is he a starter? At the 4 on a very good NBA team? I think he hasn't really shown that yet. Can he do well in big minutes? Yeah, he could have good games. But yeah, defensively, like you said, might be where teams have apprehensions about it. Yep. To Die For says, yeah, I would choose Jalen Brunson. If we had to choose one all-star, I understand. Hopefully it doesn't get to that, but yeah, it's going to be tough for Randle and Brunson to both get in. Nick Yak says Mitchell doesn't want to play in Cleveland. It's the Knicks. Whoever trades for him, it's just a rental until he becomes a free agent. That's the most likely scenario, I agree. I think that's where, the Knicks have a little bit of leverage. And that's the case people made for trading Spider Mitchell right now. I mentioned they're still going to get a good package in the summer because teams still have, they know they have one full season of Donovan Mitchell to help them win and to try to convince him, like a Miami, to roll the dice. Maybe a team who believes in their culture. But then also, if you're Cleveland, you trade Donovan Mitchell right now in this deadline, you're going to get even more value because a team that's getting him is going to get him for this year's playoff run and next year's playoff run as well, before he becomes a free agent as well. But yeah, the longer it goes, the more the Knicks are in a good position because, yeah, we have a little bit of leverage. I think he does want to be a free agent so that he can choose at least the Knicks. We don't know if any other teams might be in the mix right now, but whoever else is in the mix, they're up against it. But the New York Knicks handle their business tonight, as we did a great job with the chat, breaking this thing down tonight, giving out grades, and looking at this big win as the Knicks outpowered the Rockets late in the third quarter. In the fourth quarter, ran away with it. Game balls abound tonight. We gave out 3 to OG, Randle, and JB. Doing great work tonight, holding us down. Sound game defensively. Good ball movement late. And happy birthday once again to Tom Thibodeau. Shout out to the chat. Replay squad, salute. Smash that like button. Like and subscribe. We've got some guests coming up next week. We'll be live post-game again tomorrow night. And on Saturday night, when the Toronto Raptors come into town with the former New York Knicks. That is going to be buzzing. And some. Peace, health, happiness, blessings to everyone. Take care. See you tomorrow. Peace.